I think we've proven that Love is Blind is not blind. Love is not blind.
Love is not blind. This show does not work. It's all over.
Right. The experiment failed, okay?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Hi, girlies.
Hello, Jenny.
Hi, Bria.
Hello, Renee.
Hi,
What's up, you guys? What's
we
up?
have a fellow podcaster on the pod this week.
Yes.
I would argue, dare I say, like a pop culture and relationship expert.
Oh, you know what? Yeah,
You
I
can
will.
really dive
Let's
into
go
the
with that.
psyche of people, and like we can get to the root of things, which is why we brought her on for our Love is Blind season 7 recap.
Yes.
I cannot wait.
I'm
see what you
very
say about these
excited.
people.
We
Oh my
definitely, I love to go real meta, real micro. We're like going down to the details. So
Yes.
100%.
Go
100%.
deep into maybe the history, the why.
Yes.
What made
yes.
you so narcissistic and interrupting Tim?
I
wanna
love
know.
the why.
Yeah, no, he was like a real surprise, but then, I mean, honestly, everyone was kind of a real surprise. I feel like when I first started watching this season, I was actually really excited about it. Like I thought that, you know, oh, this is like really cool. I really liked Steven and Melissa.
Oh, Monica.
Yeah.
I
Oh my
knew-
God.
I liked them initially.
I
know
really
that's like
did
so.
too in the beginning. And boy,
When they
did
were
that take a turn.
when they were in the pods, I thought they were actually like so sweet.
Did you not?
The 180. Well, I
Yeah,
had like a weird
completely.
experience because
Yeah.
I was watching it. I wasn't looking.
Oh,
So I was missing a lot of
okay.
cues maybe, but all I
Okay.
heard was like him telling his story about how he cheated on his
Right, like,
girlfriend,
emotionally.
And like I was like, he's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
And
but
the
even
Nigerian
the
thing
way
was weird
that
too, I'm
got
not gonna lie.
delivered,
Yeah.
though, I was like, okay, he learned from his mistakes.
Yeah.
That's how it got painted.
And I think that is like the wonderful and horrible thing about like a guy like Steven is that they do know how to present it as like something that's like really
Yes.
right. Like I'm being a good person.
Yeah,
like I'm
as a
revealing
narcissist.
my I'm revealing my
Yes.
skeletons in the closet before you even ask. See, like
I'm
Yeah.
trustworthy.
I'm bearing all.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Exactly. Those are the worst ones.
Yeah.
Before we get into the Love is Blind and the Love is Blind reunion that I personally think was a flop,
Yeah.
It always is.
what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking cans. These are the 2 milligram THC, 4 milligram CBD, lemon lavender flavor.
This is my favorite flavor.
This is my favorite flavor as well. I love lavender.
And for everyone that's like afraid of edibles, doing them, this is like the most like tame one. It's just like a nice beverage, and then you feel like really relaxed.
yes.
They
And I'm going to
have
need to relax during this episode. My blood pressure is going to
Yeah.
like skyrocket.
yeah.
100%.
Cheers.
Cheers. Well, cheers your water.
Yes, my water. Woo.
Sparkling drink.
Yes. Right.
Okay, let's
Yeah.
just get into it. What's really going on?
The Love is Blind reunion season 7 happened. The DC cast, and like you were saying, I was really just disappointed. The toxic person in me, I wanted to see someone like break up with someone at the altar. Like,
Oh my gosh,
I wanted the drama. Like,
yeah.
I'm
like if
sorry.
we're going to take it there, we might as well take it there.
Let's be fucking
Yeah.
real.
Yeah.
We're not watching this show because we actually believe that, like, okay, I will say that I am really happy for those who do get married and we believe in their love. And then the ones that we are suspect of, like, I want to see you guys get to the altar and break up. That's kind of the point of the show.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the first season of Love is Blind, they made every single couple go
Yeah.
to the
Yeah,
altar,
it was
right?
until the lawsuits.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
they changed it up. And
Oh, really?
They
Wait,
wanted
it was
to
the
make
lawsuits that was the reason.
Yes, because that was part of the reason why
Oh.
they were suing, because like you're putting us in emotional distress,
By
making us go
to the
through with
altar.
this.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, some
Take
of
him to
those
the
complaints-
altar.
Yeah. Some of those complaints were a bit much.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
As long as you're fed.
Be fed.
Be fed.
Be fed.
Yeah, don't get
Also-
plied with alcohol. But
the relationship we didn't see at all, Leo and Brittany.
oh my gosh.
Yes.
I
They
want to
cracked
see
me
you
up.
go.
Yeah.
to
I feel like we wouldn't
Mexico.
have seen anything because she was just so icked out.
That's what we
Yeah,
would have seen,
yeah.
though. We would have seen that.
Yeah, but like it gets tired after a while. Like think back to Zach and Irina when she was absolutely repulsed by him. I was bored of that by the
Yeah.
time they got through.
It gets to like there's a
Wait,
certain
from last
level.
season? Or who?
I think that was season
It
5.
was-
I don't think
I
I
think it was
watched that
last season. It was
season,
season
but
5, and he chose Arena. She hated
Yes.
him, and then he went back and got with Bliss.
Yeah.
oh
but-
my,
yeah,
and
yeah,
they were
yeah.
at the reunion, right? And they have the
Yes.
baby
Yeah.
now.
Whole other issue. Why the fuck are we bringing these people on the reunion that are not on the current
And the
season?
parents.
Right.
And the parents.
what was the
So
one
many
girl
parents.
from Love is Blind season 1 there with her man that
Jessica.
she
Yeah.
met way after her season.
are we
It
watching
didn't
that
make
wedding?
any sense.
And has a kid now.
Literally didn't make any sense.
That's what it shows you, that like this show maybe needs to be a little like looked at again. I don't know, like even like maybe it was last season or it was Zach's season when like they all meet up and go to a barbecue. Like I know they had that this season where they like met up at a bar, but like that scene, that point in the show, I feel like is like the pivotal point where like shit goes down because you're like meeting the people that you might have connected with, and like nothing happened.
I needed Hannah
Yeah.
to meet Leo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't we get that on camera? Why wasn't he there?
We didn't get a
At
lot
the
of
dinner.
stuff on camera.
Or whatever the bar scene
I don't
that they
believe
do.
that he actually lives in DC personally. I think he lives in New York.
Oh, I
Yeah,
can see
his
that.
gallery's in New
I
York.
can totally
Yeah.
see that. 100%.
Which, by the way, did y'all know that they sell 5-foot bongs?
Yeah.
That's like he like specializes
Wait,
in glassware.
He's a high girly.
I love that. Oh my
Leo.
gosh. You're like, come on the pod.
Come on the
Shout out to- oh
pod.
my god, spill your truth, Leo.
Yes.
Yes.
We have a
Okay,
seat for
let's
you.
get into it. Let's start with Leo and Brittany because we're on the topic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's like your first initial thought of Leo, and then where did it go in the end?
Oh, I was completely icked out by him, like immediately. Just like the money talk. I think like I was very much in agreement with everyone. Like the money talk was just way too much. And it just read really like insecure at the end of the day.
Yes.
Like you're not very confident in yourself. And that's fine. It's just like own that, you know?
Yeah.
And then also the fact that he was saying that, you know, I don't want like a woman to like, you know, be with me for my money, and then like immediately continued to talk about how much money he had.
Yeah.
It was like you're doing yourself like a complete disservice. It was just, you know, it was very much like, and then when they had the like reveal him and Brittany, that like that kind of just
So
completely like solidified just that.
He seemed very like pervy when
Pushy.
they
It
met.
was perfect. It was weird. And also, can I just say the whole story about how he came into that money felt very sad. That felt, I'm not implying anything. I'm not implying
felt
anything.
the same way. Like
I'm
your entire family died.
How convenient.
I do
Oh,
know someone who
shit.
has had that happen to them.
Yeah. No, it's
But, like,
really
it could
sad.
happen. It could
Yeah.
happen.
No,
But,
it is
like,
really
that's
sad.
crazy.
But just like, yeah, really insane.
also,
the turn of events.
I just think it's weird for someone to have that happen to them and then also be this narcissistic person.
yeah.
Like it doesn't
Yeah.
equate. Like the person that I know who's unfortunately lost like his brother, both his parents, all within like 2 years. Like he's super humble. He's not trying to flaunt that he's like inherited all this money from them passing away. Like
He's not
Well,
saying
get
like
that
I'm glad
vibe.
I'm glad I got the inheritance. I would never trade my life even with
Right.
what I've gone through.
I'm
in
gonna
Right.
make
before.
her sign a prenup. Like
yeah. I think that probably, I mean, that just like entirely depends on like your relationship that you had like with your
Yeah.
parents, you know?
Yeah.
I always say that like, well, like, you know, when thinking about it, like what makes like a narcissistic person, it's usually like having like someone, like a mother who's like borderline, like who's like very emotional. Like that's kind of like the idea. Like what makes like a narcissistic child, what makes like a sociopathic child, it's usually like having parents who have like a lot of like high emotionality in the home.
wow.
So yeah, so a little tidbit.
Oh,
Like,
Yeah.
like trauma or just high emotion.
I think it like when I like how I've heard it is that like if like the perfect recipe for like a narcissistic or like sociopathic psychopathic child is a borderline mother. That's how I've heard it. I mean, obviously that's a, like an extreme simplification and like generalization.
Yeah.
Obviously
But that
there's so
makes
much more that
sense.
goes into
It's
it.
probably like an emotional like
Yeah.
protection mechanism to
Yeah.
like cut off from that emotion.
Yeah.
And just think of yourself.
Yeah.
Or could you even say like someone who's just like ignored? Because I can imagine his
Right.
parents being so wealthy
Yeah.
that they just
See, has like no real connection to his parents. So of course he's gonna feel like, oh well, I came into all this money. So you know what I mean? Like there's not that like bond.
I kind of do wish Hannah and him ended up together. Not that I think they would have also worked out, but I think that would have been a more interesting storyline than just seeing Hannah like berate and bash Garrett.
Nick.
Let's talk about Hannah.
Nick. Yeah, sorry. I get the white men confused.
I get it.
It's interesting that you say that because with Hannah's storyline in the pods, I was actually like really rooting for her to choose Nick, because I feel like Love is Blind, you see so often that trope of just like the girl, like someone like Hannah and like Brittany, who like Hannah feels like a little bit more insecure about her looks. Brittany's obviously very confident, and like the way that she does, she has like the boob job and all that kind of stuff. And you see that dynamic of someone like Leo, who clearly cares a lot about looks and a lot about money, a lot about these superficial things, being like choosing the other person or the girl who wants something a little less superficial and like cares a little bit more and maybe has a little bit more insecurity. And you always see that dynamic, and it always goes like becomes a shit show. I can cuss, right? Just making sure. It always becomes a shit show because like it's a whole thing where it just like solidifies like that girl's insecurities about herself. He's being, you know, like the whole situation with in last season, the girl who looked like Megan Fox, which she actually did look like Megan Fox to me. I'm just saying.
I could see it in the eyes. I could see that. Like if you were describing brown hair, blue eyes, you know, I could see it.
Let's just pro tip. You're on a show called Love is Blind.
Right.
Don't fucking say you look like a celebrity. Like Hannah and
Nick.
I almost said Garrett.
Yeah.
Hannah described herself as, what did she say? Taylor Swift, and he said he looked like Travis Kelce.
Oh yeah,
I thought he said Henry Cavill.
I would say I thought I heard Henry Cavill too.
Stop.
They're setting themselves up for failure completely.
Just stop.
Completely.
And that's why they were both so clearly underwhelmed when they met, because she was like, "Bitch, you said that you
also
Henry
no
Cavill."
shade, but he was like boasting himself as this football player. Bitch, he was the kicker.
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize was the smallest person on the team.
Yeah. My boyfriend literally said, he was like, the moment that a guy tells you that he was a kicker, like in Love is Blind, if someone tells you he's a football player and he says he's a kicker, you can immediately know what they look like.
He didn't say he was a kicker until after the reveal. He kept saying he was a football player and he played pro, I think.
In the pods.
No, because I remember.
Because I used that.
Yeah.
To like form my opinion of what he looked like. Yeah.
No, because I feel like there was a scene in the apartment where he said he was a kicker and she was like she didn't realize. Maybe he said it to somebody else.
Maybe. When I was
I
watching Blind, I got people's voices completely confused.
He might have said it to the other girl. What was her name?
Katie.
Yeah. Like
Hannah's maybe he only told like
Hannah's best friend.
Her bestie. Yes. What a deep
God. What did you think of like the Katie situation?
I think that was just everyone. I think it was a little bit of just everyone being drunk and like misunderstanding the situation. I mean, granted, I wasn't there, but what it read as on TV was just like Katie was a little tipsy. And it sounded like what she was saying was like, okay, we came out of the pods and I saw him on Instagram and I was like, oh, he's not as cute, which everyone agreed. Nick was not as cute as everyone expected him to be. And that's okay. He was a little bit different looking than what everyone expected, than he described. And then when she saw him in person, she was like, oh, you actually look better in person than you do on Instagram. So that's what I think she was trying to do, was just be like, oh, he's actually kind of cute. Granted, I think where the alcohol comes into play, she's probably saying it more than she should have. And it was coming across a certain way that I don't really think she intended. At least that's what
based on their conversation, she was not into him.
No, she was like, you know, let me give you some advice, like send you off, like bye-bye.
Yeah. Anytime a woman's like giving you dating advice like that, like step into your confidence. Right. You don't need to do too much. Yeah.
Right.
It's done.
Right.
It's
and
over.
honestly, she gave that advice so beautifully.
She read him completely.
Yeah. It was great. It was respectful. It wasn't too much. Like
Hannah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, let's talk about Hannah.
Oh my lord.
Abusive.
Yeah, no, it was, and then just not to jump to the reunion, but just the continuous like lack of accountability and inability to like see herself and how she's behaving in these situations. It was like really just like, girl, like I can't help. I mean, no one can help you. You can only help yourself.
Truly. I was surprised when she actually apologized, even though it was like a sliver of a sentence.
Right.
I'm surprised she even gave that.
Yeah,
honestly.
no, I was honestly expecting for her to not apologize at all at the reunion. But then she finally got the cue because everyone was giving her ample opportunity.
It was silent. They're just like looking
Yeah.
at her like, anything else you want to say?
Like, come on.
The red flags were there with the duck thing at
That was cringe.
That was so weird and cringe because I was trying to put myself in her shoes. Like if Nico, my husband, had like wanted to ride ducks at a resort in Mexico, I'd be like, fuck it, okay, if that's what you want to do. And the fact that she was just like, gives me the ick. I was like,
but that's the
girl,
first
you
time
know
she's like seeing him.
Yeah,
and she already has this goofy ass like. You have a goofy ass vibe to you from the moment she has met
Nikki
you.
D?
She's a goof?
Yes. No,
She's
he's a goof.
Oh, he's a goof.
He's a goof.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she read the
Yeah.
goofiness, and then he does that, and then she like the girl comes up, and he's like making fun of her with the girl. It's like that's icky.
Yeah,
honestly,
done.
I can definitely see both sides. Well, it's only so icky because you really don't like him. Like, you know.
It's that. If you actually liked the guy, he could do that.
Yeah,
But
I mean, yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I think with that, like, it was just like immediately the moment that happened, I was just like, okay, she's definitely not into him like that.
Yeah.
She's finding reasons. And then right after the whole list thing happened, where she like found the list, I'm sorry, that is like one thing. If you are already making a list,
She found
pros
she
and cons.
made the list.
Yeah.
If you're already making a list, like a pros and cons list, like
Well, it's just all
And
cons,
the cons were so deep.
Yeah.
One of the cons was delusional.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
No,
Well,
so bad.
also, okay, so what I didn't have on my bingo card for the reunion was how he was going to be the villain, basically.
She tried
This
it.
season.
Yeah.
Because weren't they saying that he was talking about how he was going to be like well, he was saying something on the plane to Mexico.
He was telling the people on the plane to Mexico,
yeah.
like, "Oh yeah, we're filming a show in
Yeah.
Mexico."
So that probably already set her off on her ick
that
journey.
set it.
You know?
Yes.
Yeah,
Honestly,
no,
everything
true.
sent her off on the ick journey.
Yeah.
But I don't
yeah.
think that it's that crazy for him to have written in his book, like, I want to be famous on Love is Blind. I'm
I don't
sorry,
think it's
why are
at
any
all.
of you on the show?
Right. Like, we're
Well,
manifesting.
For love, Bria.
Oh, yes. Marissa's
Just for
only
love.
on there for love. Like, I can't believe that you would do this to Hannah. Like,
I
I'm
will.
for love.
I will
Yeah.
say, as someone who
No,
has
literally.
filled out an application for Love Is Blind for someone else,
Wait, really?
yeah,
Wow. Was
Yeah.
it like a really in-depth like application?
it's so in depth.
Yeah.
It took me an hour. I did it with another friend for another friend, and we kept going back and forth. And then like, there's 4 or 5 questions in a row at the end of like, are you doing this to be famous? Like, they don't want that. They're really trying to like
They're
weed it out. You
They're
know?
they're trying, but I do think like there has to be, when you're going on a reality TV show, regardless of what it is, to find love, like you have to be like okay, if not like more than happy with like being like, at least for a short amount of time, a public facing figure.
Yes,
Like especially
for
a
sure.
show like Love Is Blind, so like national TV. Like if I think about it, like if I was going to go on Love Is Blind, I'd be like, okay, yeah, the dating world right now is like absolute crap and I'm on my last leg and my last hope. But like also it could be like kind of cool to like, you know, like be a little famous for a bit. Like maybe like, I mean, we live in a world where like social media, being an influencer, everyone wants to be an influencer. Everyone wants to work from home. You know, like I do think that there is kind of that element that like, no matter what, that's going to be the case. So I really don't think it's that big of a deal at all.
I don't
because he
either.
has no idea what to expect.
However,
you know,
I do feel like, okay, the boring ass couple that moved to San Diego and then are moving
Garrett
back,
and
like,
Taylor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they definitely were on it. I feel like, at least for her, on her last leg, trying to find love, and then will embrace being a public figure. I feel like for Nick, he is like, you know what's really going to help my real estate business? Being on TV.
But why would you go on Love is Blind?
Because he's boring as fuck.
Honestly, like, what is it going to be if not? What is he going to go
Yeah.
on? Too hot to handle?
He's not hot.
You know what? He weighed his. Yeah, you know what?
He's
He was
not.
like, it has to
He
be
could
Love
be
is
on the
Blind.
circle,
Right.
but the circle is in its flop era. So
Right.
like,
The circle would be good
right.
for Nick.
honestly,
Yeah.
he
Or he
is-
could go on that one. What is the one show from the Japanese? No, it's not the Japanese.
Oh, the Squid Games.
Squid Games.
The reality
Oh
show.
my God.
He could go on
It's
Squid
Love is
Games.
Blind and it's Squid Games. for
Yeah,
Nick.
those are his
Yeah,
options.
like Big Brother would eat him alive.
Yeah.
Survivor, the bugs would eat him alive.
Yeah, no,
like,
yeah,
he's
definitely
not
could not.
meant for the
Yeah.
reality world, and he
Yeah.
lives at home with his parents trying to start his reality
Yeah.
or real estate business. Like, this is it for him.
Yeah. You know, and I will give you that. He does give like LA like promoter, you know, and that is
Yeah.
one thing that I did kind of clock immediately. Just
Yeah.
like the way he nice shirts, good pants and whatnot. I'm not trying
His-
to
Love the
I'm not
outfits,
trying
love the
love the looks,
His
but it
face
is giving like promoter, like
It's
a
giving,
guy
like,
would
yeah,
slide into my
shawty, like,
DMs.
hey.
No, he gives
Yeah,
me like
100%.
beady little eye ick vibes. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if
God.
Shout
it
out
was
to
Leo
Nick.
or like
Yeah.
EFF. Sorry.
Yeah.
Shout out to Nick. Yeah, but I was really surprised to see Marissa coming for him so hard at the reunion. I think
Yeah.
that she really needed to worry about her own situation.
That was transference for sure.
Yes.
'Cause-
I think that needed to be directed to Ramses.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. I think I mean, granted, like Ramses maybe there was more to that back and forth that just didn't make it. Maybe they cut it, but like it seemed like he wasn't really like gonna give her much of like that satisfaction of what she needed from that
Yeah.
conversation. And I think obviously Hannah and her are close, it seems, and she just needed to kind of take that energy out on someone
Even though
else.
allegedly Marissa said they're not close anymore because of what she's
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
from Hannah.
And she even said at the reunion, like, Hannah's done this to us before. Like, Hannah is a bitch. I'm sorry. Like, I have to call it what it is. I love you, girl, but
No, she is.
no, because this is the thing. I'm gonna talk about Hannah. I have a thing to say about Hannah, and I say that with like love, actually, because I do understand that like sort of perspective where you're kind of operating in life and people are used to you, your family's used to you, and they kind of work around. Right? She's like, I'm just direct. Like that's the way that I am, and I understand that. And like, yeah, you want to be yourself. You want to continue to embody yourself. But there also is like a moment where you really have to take like a really hard look in the mirror about like the way that like you're treating others, and you're treating others like really poorly. And I think it's hard too, because in order to do that, you really kind of have to step out of yourself. And that can be a really scary place, because what can you trust? You're in unknown territory, you're shaky ground. Like this like persona that you have is the thing that you've had to rely on for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
She was even, I feel like, rude to her parents. And I also want to understand that dynamic. It seemed like her parents had her, and then like 10 years or however long later, they had the rest of the kids.
Yeah.
Like her
yeah.
sibling. I don't know. That's also
It was an
interesting
interesting
to me.
dynamic. Yeah.
Like,
and how they kicked her out at 18 and they were like, you're taking care of yourself.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure there's some
I'm sure
trauma
there's
with that.
yeah,
For sure.
Yeah. So I guess maybe I walk back the B word. I'm just like that's maybe me being a little
She's
too
not
direct.
A bitch.
No.
She's a bitch with a backstory.
Yeah.
She
Yes,
has
exactly.
reason. She has her reason.
And I understand it. Like I said, like I feel like I've been in those positions where people have like told me like this is the way that you are and you're being, and like me not seeing it at all. And that can be
Yeah.
really scary, because it's like, well, no, I'm not that way. And you want to be defensive and like, you know, I am a good person though. I do have good intentions. I do have a good heart, but your good intentions can only go so far,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And
So-
speaking of good intentions, I need to know what the hell you think of this rat tail having little prick
Oh my God, this 80s looking motherfucker.
this break dancer from
A
the
bootleg DeBarge.
Bootleg depart.
Like, really?
Oh my
What
God.
the hell? First of all, you
Yeah.
choose someone who is in
Yeah.
the military in the pods, and then
Oh
you try
my
to
God.
lambaste her and her military friends. What the fuck? And then you act like
No.
you're this progressive guy,
Yeah.
and get on her for not getting on birth control. Which
Yeah.
I understand we didn't see the whole conversation.
Yeah.
And he like
Yeah.
he back that up or whatever on the reunion, but
Yeah, he
like,
tried to backtrack, but
For
he also
me-
said what he said.
Yeah.
for me,
He did.
his breakup was bullshit.
Yeah. I mean, he was clearly like crumbing it, like trying to break up with her, leaving her hints about how he wasn't feeling it for a little bit there. Because even that conversation when she was not feeling well, and which that was insane. She was on her period. She wasn't feeling well.
Yes.
She was commuting super far, like doing all of this stuff. And he's like, "You're not having sex with me. Is this how it's going to be forever?"
Insanity.
Like, sir, are you kidding me?
Insanity.
And you were married before.
Yeah. No,
Hello?
exactly.
Where's the ex-wife?
Right.
I need bring her on the reunion.
We need to
Fuck
tell
the
all.
parents.
We need to
I want to see the ex.
I wanted the ex-wife and I wanted
Yes.
Tyler's sperm donee. I
Yeah.
wanted them both on the reunion.
Yes. Though Tyler's sperm donor has come out with like videos.
Yes, she's been very active.
she's been speaking her truth.
Her and her mother,
Yeah.
apparently. Her mom did an interview and was like, Tyler was threatening to kill himself if we brought up the babies. But I was going to spill my truth.
She said, "I'm gonna spill the tea." She's, "I'm gonna tell it like it
Yes.
is. Go off, girl."
Yes.
She was in the Facebook comments too, wasn't
Oh
she?
my god, not Facebook.
She was on Facebook.
Oh my god.
Yes.
Oh my gosh,
Tyler-
that's so
No,
bad.
but Ramses,
Oh my
I was
God.
like,
Yeah.
you're purely here just to be on a show.
I think someone else signed him up or they scouted him and he didn't actually apply.
Oh, really?
And so now he was like, you know what? I'm going to roll this wave. Like, fuck
Yeah.
it. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I was gonna say maybe it was definitely one of those situations where he was like, "Well, okay, they reached out to me. Let's see what goes." You know.
I
Yeah.
don't think that there is a single man on this season who applied to be on Love is Blind. I
Really?
believe they all were
Really?
scouted
Yeah.
through Instagram and LinkedIn.
That makes sense.
Really?
That kind of makes sense.
Yeah,
That makes a
checks
lot of
out
sense.
Yeah.
Wow. Wait,
lot of them
where'd
are
you
not
hear
ready.
that?
Tyler said it in an interview.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's
Okay.
not the first time they've done it. Like, they've been scouting on Instagram and stuff forever.
Yeah.
They
I
scouted
guess a lot
Clay
of.
on Instagram and didn't even tell him it was for Love is Blind.
Well, they
So
tell
he thought that he was like, he just knew it was like a Netflix dating show.
Yeah,
He was
yeah.
like, oh, it's Perfect Match.
Oh,
Or like Too Hot to
no.
Handle.
Right.
or something like that. And then
He's
it was
like,
Love
no,
is
Love is Blind. Yeah, I guess, I mean, I feel like a lot of dating shows, they do scout on Instagram anyways.
Yeah.
And I feel like they won't tell you initially, like, what it is. But
No.
it's wild that he, like, didn't know, like, at all.
Yeah.
Like-
He was like, but I
Crazy.
do want to be on Netflix.
Right,
so whatever
exactly.
You wanna throw at me,
He's like,
I'm
put my
down."
face out there. I'm ready for the fame.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
Oh my
that's
God.
like Ramses and Marissa's breakup was
Yeah.
one I wanted to see at the altar. Like, why?
Totally.
Devastating.
Why break up there?
Yeah.
Devastating.
No,
You had no
definitely.
reason.
They could have definitely taken it to the altar for sure.
I mean, also, like, it's great that he didn't do that because I would have been fucked
really
up.
heartbreaking
But, like,
for her. Remind me, was it her that said it in the conversation or him that was like, we should break up? Or like,
him.
it was
He
him.
said it,
Okay,
yeah.
right,
He
okay.
blindsided her.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
Blindsided her.
Yeah.
And it was just like, why would you go and do all this shit if you already knew and you had issues having sex? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I call fucking bullshit on his whole
Yeah.
woke ass.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah, no.
I
He's
still-
definitely that, like, sort of, like, there's, like, TikToks that make fun of these sort of liberal men.
Yeah.
Where they're, like, these, like, covert, like hugely, like, misogynistic. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, they
men. It's
drag you in because
insane.
they're like, I'm a feminist. Like,
Right,
I understand, like,
exactly.
intersectionality. Da, da, da,
Yeah.
da. He has all the buzzwords, and then
Yeah.
he's like, but, like, condoms don't feel good.
Right.
Yeah,
and that,
you're
and
just
you,
a freak.
yeah.
You're not woke. You're just a fucking
you
freak.
are
We're just a freak. Yeah. No, and the fact that he was still willing to get engaged to her, even when he knew how he felt about like his like the military, which that's like so
Yeah.
fine. But like stand on that.
Right.
You need to stand on that. Like you're not going to get engaged to a woman who was in the military for several years. Her family was in the military. She grew
friends.
up in the military.
Yeah.
Like, that was her whole world. For you to like be like, yeah, I'm down to get engaged, and then to feel that sort of way. That's just like, that's so messed up.
I was
So
ready
messed
for
up.
her mom. I was ready when they showed her mom at the reunion for some
'Cause
Maury
balls off.
Povich shit.
Oh my gosh, that
chairs
would have been
flying.
amazing.
That's what I was
I love
hoping. When
that.
they brought her, I was like, okay, it's
Yes.
on. Let's
she's about
go.
to she's about to
Yes.
run this
She
up to the
was
stage.
very
She was
chill.
poised.
She
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
you know what? I did talk to him, and I was like,
you know,
you did?
I was like, where were you
Yeah.
cussing and like
right.
she was crazy at the lunch.
Mhm.
She was.
She
I
probably
was
saw
living.
herself on TV
Yeah.
and tried to tone it down. I
like,
think
I
that's
need
what
to chill.
happened.
Yeah.
That was a
That's
lot.
probably what happened.
Well, someone who probably also should have chilled.
With his sperm.
Oh, you want to talk about him?
I want to talk about Tyler and Ashley because this man, I'm not buying it. Like,
really?
If Ashley says, I have the full scenario, I have no doubt that she does.
Yeah.
However,
Yeah.
I feel like she is perhaps okay with being with a deadbeat. I think that he's not as
she is
uninvolved.
definitely, yeah. I mean, well,
Previously uninvolved.
Yeah. I feel like really mixed feelings about it. Like about Tyler specifically. I there's something in me tells me that he genuinely has like a good heart. Like in which I know I just said good intentions don't mean anything, but
He's trying.
but like and like I whiplashed back and forth like when everything was going on, because obviously as we were watching the show and then everything on the internet was happening, it was like very interesting to like see what was happening in real time and then also to see what he was saying in front of the cameras. I thought that was really interesting, but I do
timed too well.
Yeah, like maybe there was some ulterior motives with it. But I do think that like, I don't know, he definitely got himself into a weird situation by, you know, being this like an unofficial sperm donor, because they didn't go to a clinic. It wasn't, he clearly was like, yeah, sure, this was very unofficial. Right. Like very unofficial. I don't want to know how did this happen. Anyways. But like I believe that maybe he was like like right. Like this is my friend. Let me be a sperm donor. But like you're not at a clinic, so it's not.
He came in a cup and they like
did they with the turkey baster?
No, according to the sperm donee, he went into their basement and did his thing in a cup, and then he was like, "Okay, do with this what you will." Yeah, and left, and they found a will and a way.
Wow.
Yeah. I think this situation, if anything, it just goes to show like Tyler's like decision making abilities. Like I don't think he's necessarily like a bad person at all. Like their relationship seems really genuine. And I do think that if I didn't know about the sperm donor situation, like I would have really, really loved them as a couple together.
I really liked them at first.
Yeah. It was interesting though, like she didn't want to have it. Like I thought that was going to be the big blow up. I thought they were going to be were going to be not
that's
together.
How you knew she was in it, because she was willing to let him tell her, like to explain himself.
Yeah.
That's how you knew. That's how you know.
God. But yeah, I don't know. I do think that he has good qualities. Yeah. Love his prayers. But I just think that there's probably more to the story that we don't know that Ashley is turning a blind eye to.
That maybe she already knows and is like willing to like forgive it.
I think she's willing to forgive things.
Yeah.
I don't think that he's innocent.
Prerogative.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, yeah.
If she wants to.
If you're okay with the situation, then you're okay with the situation.
Yeah.
Exactly.
100%. I'm just sad that those like kids, like it just, that's like really tough to like see, like, because now he said that he's since been in their lives and now on like a very permanent platform. You have your dad saying they're sperm donors and no, I've never seen their face.
Right. But he doesn't, they don't call him dad, or do they?
I don't know.
I don't know, but
I don't think they revealed
like they never, like they didn't even know what he looks like.
Yeah,
they do.
Initially.
Yeah.
And
they spent Christmas together and shit like that.
Right.
And he did say on the reunion that they did that intentionally because they were trying to protect the children. And that's what I also mean about like, I just think he has poor decision making abilities. I think they saw like trying to figure out the situation. We're like, okay, let's just lie in front of the cameras, but you know the truth. Like that could have happened, and that just would have been like, you just are not like thinking things through completely.
Yeah. Right, because you know that the sperm donee is going to see the show.
Right,
and
exactly.
She's going to think that
and
you're
you
lying.
clearly were not on the same page when you went on the show. You guys clearly were not on the same page.
Right.
Like otherwise this wouldn't have happened. Yeah.
Badly.
That's really, something I would have mentioned though in the pods.
Oh yeah, that too.
Because I feel like you just diffuse that being like, I did this. It's this thing. Like,
yeah,
you immediately accept it. I see it this way. That's it.
Totally.
Give her the
instead
choice.
He didn't do that.
Yeah.
Someone else who didn't really get a choice either was Monica.
Oh
gosh. And you know what? I felt so bad for her because she really was trying to be like, he's not like, you know, what I usually go for. Like, there's usually, like, he thought she was talking about Kate Spade when she was talking about luxury bags.
When he said, I'm going to really have to impress you with a Kate Spade bag. And she's like,
She's like, oh, no, honey. We're talking Louis Vuitton.
That's someone who was on her last leg with love.
Yes.
Yeah.
True. She'd been through it because she had been in a lot of like
her.
cheating relationships and things like that.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, she just found yet another cheater.
Yeah. No, that was really unfortunate because that situation, like, because you know that in that scenario, she really thought that she was like, okay, these are the qualities of the men that have cheated on me and my past relationships, and I'm going to go with someone that like has different qualities, and that's still ending up back in that same situation.
Yeah.
Like that's really devastating, like super devastating.
Yeah. Poor Monica. Steven tried to apologize. Even when he apologized, I'm like,
no,
shut the
he
fuck
did
up.
not.
He is what I.
He's constantly like, I'm so wrong. Like it's on me. I honestly think that his kink might be that he likes being like humiliated.
Oh my god, a humiliation kink. Oh my god,
he's like,
huge.
yes, please, like bash me, like bash me. I did so badly.
Yeah, he's like, me. Please.
Yes.
We're getting uncomfortable. We're like, why is the energy getting? What's happening?
What do you think was on that text?
Oh, I don't want to know.
Something heinous.
Vile.
It had to be something heinous because her reaction was so bad.
Yeah.
It was like half cheating, half what you said in the text.
Yeah.
I feel like it was like some like golden shower, like
it definitely wasn't like
shit.
Feet.
No, it was something.
No,
yeah, it was not.
It was like
that's very typical,
like
run of the mill.
Body fluid, disgusting. Because what else could be because she said like I'm not like
maybe something that was like torture. You know what I mean? Like some weird like bondage type.
He likes to
thing.
get like kicked in the balls.
Because he was saying how he did like hint to her that he wanted to get pegged. So
yeah.
Remember at the like their little like social thing, he was like. She was talking about, I forget exactly what it was, or maybe it was on the couch, like afterward. On the couch.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, you could, like if you wanted to. Like he was like, he said it in a joking way, but in hindsight, I think he was serious.
I feel like she thought he was talking about putting it in her butt because she was like, I'm saving that for marriage.
That's how I took it.
Yeah. No, I think
he also, I think, was being like, well, if you want to put it in mine.
Okay, but if that had happened, then in that moment when she's reading the text, she's like, yes, I remember this moment. I completely misread that.
I feel like there was something where she was like, I'm not, it was on the Vile Files podcast. She was like, I'm not against like she was like, people are missing the point. Like, I'm not like kink shaming, like diminishing people's kinks. Like, she was like, I get being freaky, but like, one, this was something we had not talked about, and two, it was blatant cheating. Yeah, and also 3, why did no one ask him why he was drunk going to a sleep test?
Girl,
these are the important questions.
They made sure to confirm like he was at the sleep test. Okay,
okay, great. I don't give a fuck that he was at the sleep test. Why was he drunk? And also, no one clocked that. When she got mad about reading the text, he took an entire handle of Blue Whale gin to the back with him. And then came forward. I'm like, see that. Does no one want to ask him why you're an alcoholic?
Yeah. No, that's huge.
That's dark.
That's major.
Whoa.
For real, though.
Yeah. No, 100%. Not a person like him, I would probably like really wonder whether he had some sort of like personality disorder. Like actually.
Something is off.
Because even in the way that he was like apologizing and so eager at the reunion to like speak about it, but like the way that he was kind of navigating, it's very classic like trying to manipulate the situation and like trying to be the good person, but you're not a good person necessarily. So like, or you're not acting like a good person, so you don't really know how to like, you know what I mean? Like, he's like actually scary to me.
Yeah, he was the top person to me that was like, what the fuck happened in your childhood?
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, I mean, and he had that whole situation where he found out he was black.
Right.
Which I don't believe that.
I fully believe that.
No, he 100% is.
Really?
I knew
the moment.
As soon as I saw him, I knew he.
Really?
Yeah, he is 1,000%. Look, when you know, like you can just see it. You can just see it a mile away.
What is it?
Yeah.
It's the face, it's the hair,
the nose, like
the bill.
Because he's giving like he stinks. Like okay. The only way I can describe it is like we used to go to this is such a tangent. I used to go to the eye doctor and there was this guy who kind of looked like him. It was like that albino kind of look, but he wasn't albino. He was just really, really white and had really, really like like blonde hair, and he just smelled like he never cleaned his clothes properly. That is what I'm getting from him.
Okay, that's your trauma.
It's just like
I'm getting like
stink.
doused in cologne. I'm getting doused in cologne.
Yeah,
I'm getting
an
lotion.
Axe guy. Yeah,
Like it's like almost like when you leave your clothes out to dry but they don't dry properly. That like odor.
The mildew.
He smells like that's what he looks like. He smells like mildew.
Oh my god.
Anyway,
Yikes.
sorry.
I feel that way honestly about Tim.
Tim
is my arch nemesis.
Oh my god, he's so mildew.
He is my arch
I think he smells good.
nemesis. I think he tries to cover it up with his little like Calvin Klein spray, and it's not enough to hide that stench.
Oh
okay, what are your thoughts on them?
Oh, I think it was really funny because like my impression of them was that they are either going to work so well or absolutely hate each other. And they obviously ended up just absolutely hating each other. But I think it was he's just like one of those guys who's like also like a different form of just like manipulation and like just like clearly not being like ready for like a relationship of any kind. Like the moment that any like the smallest inconvenience is happening, like, and it's not on your timeline and like not when you want it to be, like you absolutely freak out. Like he's a bit of a man-child.
And he sees that as like a boundary violation.
Yeah, it's like completely like just like misconstrued.
Twisted.
Yeah, like his perception.
I think watching the show, I felt like they were mad at each other for the same reasons that they both are. Because I felt like she was also kind of manipulative and like also said some weird shit where I was just like, you're mad at him for the same reason, and he is like, you both are mad at each other for the same shit that you both are doing.
Yeah, they definitely were constantly annoyed with one another. Like they just didn't seem like they actually liked each other. Even like when they were trying on the hats, and she was like, take it off, and he was like, I'm gonna buy it.
It was another situation where like everything he did was icky.
Yeah.
It's
no,
like,
exactly.
I got that dog.
I'm
sorry. Like
she's like, please stop. Please stop.
But
she
like
also
hated
him. Yeah.
She also hated him.
She hated that man. There's no way. I do not think she liked him.
I think that was a situation too where they saw each other and were like,
yeah, it was.
Even though I think he's attractive.
Yeah. No, I honestly thought they could have been like. I think she was probably like a little bit cuter than him, but I think like it could have worked. You know what I mean?
It definitely
like
could have.
And like,
well, except for I remember them talking about their style of living.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, her apartment.
Her apartment was.
That's
so
where
bad.
I was like.
That's when I knew she really hated him because she was not trying to put on any sort of front.
That's what I was thinking. Like, did they not give her the opportunity to clean up, or was she
knew
just like, I don't give a fuck?
You knew that was gonna be on TV.
Yeah. Well, this has happened before, like so many times on Love Is Blind though too, where like people will come home from like the experiment and they like, sorry, like I was like leaving in a hurry.
Yeah, but that was
that was really a hurry.
That was bad.
That was like weeks of like,
after she came for him for his house and
that's
his
what
couch.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
the
what
couch,
I'm saying.
The movie theater couch is weird.
Yeah,
but your house, like you
best.
can't be talking shit when your apartment looks like
that's
that.
What I'm saying. That's why she irritated the fuck out of me. Is everything that she felt like he was doing wrong. She was doing it too.
Yeah.
She had no self-reflection on herself. Like, she was so hung up about, like, she didn't even want him to meet her parents because she was so worried that, like, she was like, this has to work. Like, if you're meeting my parents, like, this has to work. And I get that she is a bartender on the side, whatever, and wanted to get some sleep before going to work. But, like, she didn't put the full effort in that she wanted back from him with her family.
I think being there literally all day with them is enough effort.
And I do think that is one of those situations where, like, Tim was in the wrong in the sense of, like, you're doing all of these things expecting something in return. And, like, yes, your partner should reciprocate 1,000%. But also, like, you should be giving those things freely and also be considering what your partner can give in the time, you know, like, because she is a bartender, she was working the night. I think like the story that she told on the reunion, if that's true, I think the situation on her end was understandable, and he got upset because she wasn't giving what he gave. But it sounds like she just she has a different schedule. She has a different like time.
Yeah, the circumstances.
I don't know. It's just all kind of weird to me. And also like there was so much time dedicated to her specifically talking about meeting my parents. It's a big deal to me. Meeting my parents. It's a big deal to me. But then you didn't give the same effort back as a viewer. I'm like, you don't really have any leg to stand on because I feel like I thought I knew her and then I was like, no, I don't, because I feel like if you were so hung up about meeting his family and being so having him be so invested in that, like give the same energy that you're wanting from him,
right,
and don't get mad about it if he's like irritated about it. That's how I felt.
I do understand that. Even like the moment I think where he had said like, you know, I made all this like, you know, food for your family and you didn't even help clean up. Like I did understand that.
Yeah,
like that was like pretty like you would want to thank your partner in some way of like, you really came out and went all out for my family and I really appreciate it. Like how can you like show gratitude and like
imagine if he didn't do that.
Oh,
she would have been fucking pissed.
Yeah.
And then, so it's like, it just never, that's why I got irritated with her. Cause I was just like, you have these crazy ass expectations, but if someone has the same fucking crazy ass expectations of you, you're like, whoa, you don't understand my life. It's like, okay, you're never going to be in a relationship then.
I saw it that way until the reunion. Like, I was truly on Tim's side until I saw the behavior at the reunion. And then I realized, like, oh, he's very frustrating to deal with.
Yeah. He also, if it's true that he was just talking that entire reunion and not letting her speak. I mean, like, you know what I mean? Just kind of going on and on. I think it was just really both of them. They really were, like, really incompatible.
Yeah.
And also I think like a little bit unwilling to like see where they could have like, I think she probably could have been a little bit more reciprocal with her energy and he could be a little bit more like not expectant of like so much, like just like expectant of the same thing and like in a way of like your partner is going to give to you like a different sort of thing than what you can give. And like you have like these components that enriches like the relationship and like get to know your partner and understand how they can enrich your relationship. Because it almost felt as if he had like a preconceived idea and plan of how things should go.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
if it didn't go as planned, it set him off. Like that's what it felt like.
He really wanted it to be like, I get 50%, you get 50%. Always, no matter what.
Right.
Sometimes you're going to give 60% and your partner's going to give 40%. It's not always going to be the exact, you know, you have to have a little give and take. You can't just be like, you're not doing this for me, bye.
Right. Yeah. And granted, is Love is Blind. They have to do it in such a like short amount of time. So like it's kind of understandable why you would just kind of freak out about it. And maybe he just needs someone who is like thinks the same way about those things. She's clearly a little bit she pegs me as the type of person who like wants to get treated and like loved on and like
she pegs me as the type of person that wants to be waited on hand and foot and put in no fucking effort.
She should have gotten with Leo.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That would have been a perfect couple.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think the moral of their story is they're not talking the same language.
Yeah, completely different.
They're very incompatible, which is wild to me that they felt so compatible in the
real life versus the pod.
I think it was that family situation. I think they like almost like trauma bonded over because remember he lost his sisters and then like her situation with her parents and both of them getting MS.
Well, that's why I'm also like, listen, I know you had to go bartend. You had a whole long, really dramatic conversation about his family and he felt really disrespected.
Yeah. No, totally fair. That is very fair. Like I gave that energy to your family, understanding like how much they mean to you and how much you and your family have been through and like to give that back. I wonder why was it not recorded? Wait, I'm like thinking like we saw her interaction.
This is my
with her family.
Fucking hang up with the show. Besides
what
the
happened?
Shit at the reunion, I can't stand that they miss so many crucial moments.
Like that would have been really important to see the comparison between how she was with his family versus her family. That would have been super important.
Yeah. It's just like the Love is Blind way. I think this far along, a lot of the contestants are self-producing and are like, we're not going to talk about this on camera. We're just going to do this secretly. They're trying to hide shit. Yeah. It's the same thing like with the hand over the mouth situation. That wasn't on camera because she was like, I don't want them to come in and see you freaking out. That is the major problem. And you can't like undo that.
Also, I don't know how you guys feel, but like, why do you need to cover his mouth?
Yeah, that was a little. It was.
I don't think it happened
hands
that way.
On people. You don't
My
know each other like
understanding,
that.
based on her, she gave an interview afterwards, and he did confirm that like she never put her hands on him at the reunion.
Yeah,
right.
But she basically said that the producers. His mouth? No, the producers were outside, and he was raising his voice, not yelling. I don't yell. I just project.
Yeah,
whatever. And she was doing like a like.
Oh, I see. Okay. Like if we want to keep this conversation private, you got to tone it down.
And for some reason, he felt okay letting everybody who's watching think you covered. Yeah. You know, like technically it's true. I did cover your mouth with my hand, but you're making it sound like I fucking like kidnapped you.
Right. No, and that's like completely like manipulating the situation.
Right.
Yeah.
Anti-Tim.
Yeah, that part I was like, you guys are just.
Yeah, they were a mess. They were, and from the moment that conversation happened, they were a mess because he's also clearly anxiously attached. Like he's an anxious attachment type of person. Because the fact that he was, at least with the way that they described the argument, the way that she needing like space. I mean, she's napping. She's like not responding to his text messages. He's getting really upset that you're not talking to me throughout the day. I'm helping you with your tire. Why aren't you like responding? The whole argument where he's chasing her. Well, not chasing her, but like she's trying to like take some time because she's missing her family. Like he clearly is like very anxiously attached, and she's clearly like, what's the other one? Avoidant. Yeah.
That's so real because he feels like it's something with him, like, oh shit, like I have to fix this or else like I'm, you know, failing this relationship. And she's like, please just like get the fuck away.
I think she's also like an introvert without like knowing, like I feel like it's not an overtly introverted person, but it's someone who clearly needs space.
Like she's like a lower energy like type of person who needs to like have like a peaceful space, even though it's not clean.
I know that
there's no peace in that apartment.
There is no, but hey, if she's at peace, then by all means,
girl. I don't know if anyone is at peace. That gives me anxiety.
That's a certain level of messiness that like there's I don't know, maybe there's something going on.
But sometimes the messiness is not physical. Sometimes it is emotional, and I think we need to round this out with Garrett and Taylor's messiness, because I know that they're the golden couple.
They are the golden child. But the fact
that he did not move to San Diego after assuring her the entire season is very sus to me.
No, I thought they did go for a little bit. And
they've been traveling, and they spent some time there. He never moved there. And now she's living in his, no offense, podunk Virginia town. Ooh. And like the compromise is moving to DC, 2 hours away from your family and 6 hours away from hers.
Right. Yeah. No, that's actually very real. Like a real potential compromise would have been like somewhere truly in between their families. Right.
Or like, since you acted like you were so okay with San Diego, try it for a year.
Yeah,
try it for a lease.
Yeah,
totally.
And if
I don't think
like
he tried it long enough.
They didn't.
100%. I don't think he gave it like a real like college try.
I'm not falling for him and his thing. I'm not falling for
well,
him.
you know, he is the fish guy. He does
Never
like
trust a fish guy.
Listen,
never.
Nico's a big fish guy.
Do you think that he would have put a fish like on his Bumble profile? I feel like anytime I see someone holding a fish, I'm like,
I think you would. For sure. I don't know. We could ask him. He had a profile.
I just see that and I'm like,
he had it as a profile picture on Instagram and Facebook. But also, I don't think, listen, I think there's a difference of like having a hobby of like going fishing. It's another thing where the amount of fish talk that happened at the reunion,
oh my
I was
gosh,
like, shut the fuck up about fishing. Who cares about fishing that much?
No one gives a fuck.
No,
not a normal person.
Yeah, not a normal person.
I'm not trusting him. I'm not.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I like, maybe I'm an optimist when it comes to people. I like to think, and well, especially when they present so much love. And I love Taylor. I think she's amazing. And so I like to think that she has good judgment. She like pegs me as the type of person who has good judgment. And
I'd hope so.
And
it
I
just
think
feels like she's compromising so much.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he needs to compromise too.
No, 100%. 100%. I don't know. I still love them. I actually like have zero critiques about them because it's just been rose-colored glasses. Yeah. Just rose-colored lenses the entire time.
Well, they did gloss over all of their drama at the reunion. So
yeah, with the whole text message, the DM thing. Yeah, that was really bad.
A useless lie.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, withholding that was not a good look at all.
Shall we talk about our idea of the week?
Yes. I would love you to give us your opinion, your idea of what the future of Love is Blind is. Like, I feel like it's wrapping up, but do you feel like it has lost its intrigue?
Oh, I think far from it. I think they're literally in every single country, right? Like Love is Blind. Like they have so many different like spin-offs of it. I think regardless of how much it's like, you know, the quality is like going down for sure of like the people that are going on. I mean, clearly people are okay with watching like trashy reality TV. And I think because it's such high stakes and people are still like watching it and going on it, like that makes the drama even more interesting. If anything, they might just lean more into like that drama that we're talking about.
I think
you know what I mean?
At this point,
like if it's not going to be quality in terms of like the love, then you might as well be like, these crazy people, they're getting married.
I'm saying they need to take some inspiration from Married at First Sight. Y'all watch that?
I've watched a couple.
A fucking mess.
Yeah.
And they are filmed 24/7.
Yes.
They catch everything.
Yeah.
And there is no self-producing on that show.
Like I want a Big Brother version of this show where every single thing is or the real
Married
world.
At First Sight. You need to watch Married at First Sight.
Like on the real world, they followed them everywhere, out to the bars, everything. Do that. Just do it. I just want to see what the fuck happens and make it more interesting.
They definitely have the budget for it. I know Netflix needs more successful shows, so they just need to invest.
Though, is the next season, which I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know shit about Minneapolis.
It's fucking cold there. I don't think I stepped 1 foot outside.
And why would you?
Because they have tunnels that it's that cold there.
Oh wow!
Next to all the buildings, So that'll be interesting to see, like what time of year.
When are they doing this?
They're like filming
because they've already filmed. But I know that they have that. They did DC. They're also going to be doing a New England area.
Oh, okay.
Because they were casting for that.
Yeah.
And I think
I need Orange County.
Somewhere in the South. Yeah. I don't know if they're going to go to California.
Fucking mess.
I think I think they'll probably avoid California for as long as possible.
Can you imagine if they did like Bakersfield?
Oh my gosh, stop.
That would be so
I don't see them going to anywhere in California, New York, maybe Tampa, Florida, but like big
Florida,
cities.
Yeah.
You know?
Maybe Northern California, like maybe Sacramento where I'm from.
Yeah.
Oh,
I could see them doing Sacramento.
I could see them doing Sacramento for sure. That's a good one.
Oh my God, they should do like Oakland.
Oh my God.
I would live.
Oh my gosh, that would be wild. Yeah. That would be great.
To close us out, what advice would you give to the most dysfunctional couple? Who do you think is the most dysfunctional on this season?
Oh my God, they were all so dysfunctional.
If you had to pick one, who would it be? And what is like your overall relationship advice, we the intellectuals status advice that you would give them to get through this?
Well, I think, oh my gosh, it would probably be Hannah and Nick or Alex and Tim, I think. I think that Melissa, oh my God, I keep forgetting her name. Monica.
Yeah.
I think Monica had enough wherewithal to like eventually get there on her own. But I think one of them too. And I do genuinely believe that all four of those people were not ready for relationships. And a big part of the reason why they are not ready for relationships, in my opinion, is that they are still looking at relationships purely from a place of like what I can get in a very like selfish way, which is important. Obviously, you need to go into a relationship with like knowing yourself, knowing what you want, like what things that are like a hard nose that you won't deal with, what things are you willing to compromise. You have to understand that to some degree, but really to like get into and engage in a really like long lasting, like healthy relationship, I genuinely believe like, and I think I did talk about this actually on my podcast. We talked about how like we live in a world, and I think why dating is so difficult right now is because we live in an age of like narcissism in dating space and in relationships, and how people are so like self-centered and so self-focusing. And it's because of the society we live in, and we live in an individualistic society where it is all about you and like what you are going to give and what you can get, essentially. And I think we are taking that sort of mindset into dating, and obviously it doesn't work out. You can't think that way to have like a thriving relationship. And I think all of them are thinking that way. So that's my advice.
Oh, that's so real.
I wonder if they work with a couples therapist. They probably don't.
No.
And they probably should.
Yeah, like the show.
Whoever I married, didn't matter. My current partner, whatever. I always knew that I wanted to go to couples counseling before getting married. Yeah. Because I knew that even though we talked about finances, love, physicality, like all these things, I didn't know. I knew I needed to like make sure that we were on the same page with like a third party. And so doing that work was like the best thing for our relationship even to this day. Yeah. And we started doing it a year ago. So the fact that these people, not only do they not know what they look like, they have not spent, we were saying this, they have not spent Christmas with their families together or whatever holiday they celebrate. They have not like done XYZ thing. They have not traveled abroad until they see each other, right? Yeah. Really all these key experiences are very key in a relationship. And I feel like they should at least, especially knowing that they're going to get engaged, be able to talk to a couples counselor together if they truly do want to see them succeed. Now,
girl, they do not.
If you want to get the toxicity, then don't fucking do it.
But see, this is why Married at First Sight is the superior show, because they are put together by relationship therapists and counselors and a pastor. And a pastor Cal. Right. And throughout the show, they are checking in and doing these therapy sessions. And sometimes, like, the husband doesn't show up because he's like, fuck this. Yeah. Sometimes, like, Pastor Cal has to come in and talk to the wife and be like, why are you still sleeping with him without a condom when he just got a woman pregnant before coming on the show?
Damn tea. She said I'm calling him out.
There. It is so good.
Wow. Okay, so so
watch Married at First Sight.
Love is Blind experiment bullshit not being a reality TV show. Yeah.
I think we've proven that Love is Blind is not blind. Love is not blind.
Love is not blind. This show does not work. It's all over.
Right. The experiment failed. Okay.
Yeah. Several times by now. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me.
This was actually enlightening. I love these psychological elements.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
I need to have you back.
Yeah, yes. I'm so down. This is the first podcast that I've done that hasn't been my own. Cool. So I like had no idea like how it was going to be, but I had so much fun. Especially since my co-host is a man. So it was great to talk to girls.
It's great.
It was great to be on High Girlies, to hang out with the girlies. Yes. It's amazing.
Where can everyone find your podcast and follow you?
Yes. So my podcast, Instagram, TikTok is on is at we.theintellectuals. And then you can find me, Renee.Lynn on Instagram, TikTok, all the good stuff.
Go listen to We the Intellectuals. Honestly, it does make me think. I was listening to this past episode, and they were talking about like beauty standards and how like some people are fucking weird looking and they're still hot. Yeah. Like, you know what? I've
talking about the ugly, hot ugly.
That. It's like a very scientific.
Yeah, we definitely go like a little meta. We are like self-prescribed overthinkers, and we really like to dive deep into things. So if you are someone who really likes to dissect certain topics, we like to really like take like a small thing and really dive into it. Just like any interpersonal interactions, relationships, friendships, society. We mention late stage capitalism all the time on our podcast. So
I really like that. that. I'm a deep thinker, an overthinker, some may say.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, then we have to have you guys on our podcast.
Ooh, oh my gosh,
sounds like we might have to do a crossover.
I love it.
Everyone go follow We the Intellectuals and Renee. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you guys for having me.
We're going to end with a bye, girlies.
Okay.
Bye, girlies.